Good afternoon and welcome to the presentation, International Business Expansion Analysis. Our client, the Boston Beer Company, has requested an international expansion analysis. Part of the analysis will cover the Boston Beer Company overview, the Boston Beer Company data sources, current market exposure, cost and value of data, pattern analysis, annual growth and forecasts, correlation and regression, international expansion recommendation, and a Japan market analysis. Some pertinent history on the Boston Beer Company. Boston Beer Company is the sixth largest brewery in the United States and the largest American-owned independent brewery at $863 million in sales for 2017. It is ranked second in the top 50 craft brewing companies of the United States, according to the Brewers Association 2017. It has some current advantages in the marketplace as Boston Beer Company is constantly reinventing themselves by regularly making new flavors of traditional beer. And also they have entered the hard tea, hard cider, and hard seltzer markets to expand their marketability across all demographics. Currently, the Boston Beer Company is increasing its international exposure. There are still no company subsidiaries or distribution plans established outside of the United States, however. The Boston Beer Company only licenses the recipe to brewers. This creates product variance at a large scale. However, Boston Beer Company does have international brand recognition, including the ambitious Raise Your Glass TV campaign that aired during the 2018 Super Bowl. The Boston Beer Company expansion analysis data will come from quarterly and annual revenue statements, NASDAQ, Reuters, Yahoo Finance, and others, and additional data sources. The Boston Beer Company has a variety of data sources from which it aggregates information about customers and sales. In-house, it uses, of course, the financial and sales figure reports. Also, voluntary online personal information submissions and cookies are used when doing so. These include purchases from their e-store, entering in contests, subscribing to newsletters, or even applying for a job. For social media, anytime someone comments on a blog, likes, dislikes, or shares a social media post associated with the Boston Beer Company, and also the use of cookies does aggregate more information to the company. Boston Beer Company also does use third-party marketing vendors for a source of information. Moving forward with international expansion, it is important to note that the Boston Beer Company is committed to market exposure. In fact, from 2016 to 2018, there has been a significant increase in marketing and advertisement dollars allotted to the company. It is pre-approved, and strategic marketing is a priority. As we move on, the value of data for a new customer is $12.60. This is aggregated by looking at the average cost of a single beer in large city locations. For the cost of data for the Boston Beer Company, we will look at a direct mail campaign. Using Bayesian analysis, we have discovered that 33.7% of a beer purchased at any given time could come from a convenience store. This differs from the expectation that a bar would be the number one source of revenue. For our strategy, we will stick to high population areas with convenience store saturation. Furthermore, at a budget of $5 million, a direct mail campaign will reach 2,500,000 people. Of course, this is target demographic addresses. For the return on investment, we do need to have over 198,000 purchases from the convenience store and over 218,000 to have an ROI of 10%. A 5-year revenue evaluation of the Boston Beer Company produces the following patterns. There is a steady increase in revenue from 2013 to 2017. Gross profit and net income are stable, and the R-squared value of the net income linear trend shows a reliable data to figure strength of 54%. The previous 5-year stock valuation produces the following patterns. There is an overall downtrend in stock value. However, resistance has remained steady. And new product development and seasonal product sales have helped to raise the value over the last 12 months. Digging deeper into our stock analysis, our candlestick chart produces stable support and resistance lines. We also do have multiple strong buy-in points over the last 6 months, and we have a balanced gap between the support and resistance, indicating a steady upward market valuation over the last 6 months. For an international investor or investors, the 55% reduction in total overall capital expenditures from 15 to 17 is very strong. Likewise, the quarterly reduction at 17.5% does demonstrate a continued commitment to forward progress and profitability by the company. Finally, our pattern analysis of the industry at large gives us a lot of room for growth, including women and women entering the beer market. A correlational analysis of our total revenues does give us some strong indications that our data is good. We have cost of goods sold and gross profit to annual revenues is the strongest, but our bottom is the net income to all variables. Nonetheless, the strength of the data correlation does indicate that we can use this data as a good projection. Our regression analysis echoes our correlation study, where we have all data looks reliable with strong correlation to the linear trend. Also, our R squared for a net income is over 53% relational strength to the linear regression. Looking at projected annual growth for the Boston Beer Company, by 2022, they will have over $1 billion in sales. However, the R squared does offer a bit to stand back and look at, as there is only a 22% relational correlation to the information. Assessing our growth into forecast trends from 2018 to 2028, we do see the $1 billion mark as stabilized approximately from 2022. Also, our confidence intervals above and below are relatively close. This does give some strength to our projection analysis and our forecast analysis moving forward. For our international expansion, we are recommending Japan. Japan is made up of more than 6,800 islands, but only 4 of them make up more than 99% of the population. In fact, Japan's population was 127 million in 2017, roughly 1/3 the population of the United States. Likewise, Japan is very urbanized. 86% of its population are in cities. This matches our current marketing strategy, focusing on large cities with convenience store saturation. The Greater Tokyo Kanto area and Kaihanshin make up over 47 million in Japan's population. These 2 areas alone are perfect for our marketing expansion and product expansion by the Boston Beer Company. From 2006 to 2015, there was a reduction in Japan's in-house beer production. This does not seem to affect its import of beer, however. As we can see in this chart, international beer company Kirin ranks Japan as number 7 overall in global market valuation. This market valuation is stable over 2 years and shows that Japan is a beer drinking company with great room for growth. Possibly the strongest benefit to a Japan investment and expansion operation is the optimization and risk mitigation properties due to the advertising and marketing diversity that is available to an investor. It's a tech-savvy company whose social media usage is high, but print advertising is a viable option, and that urban population can be targeted by advertising campaigns. To attract current customers, Japan is prime, as 31.7% of the Boston Beer Company's target buyer demographic are already represented in Japan. And as we said before, there is a large convenience store saturation. The current political climate for Japan is very positive for international investment. The A.T. Kearney Foreign Direct Investment Confidence Index of 2017 ranks Japan as number 6 overall. However, the natural disasters and environmental risks for Japan are high. Looking at our chart from ReliefWeb, we see that Japan was number 3 in billions of dollars in damage for 2016 from natural disasters and environmental risks. As is the world we live in, Japan's overall terrorism risk is low. This is another positive finding, with terrorism on the rise throughout the world. However, Japan does not appear to be affected by that current trend.